And welcome to Trip to the Mound. We are the iBaseball Channel podcast. Roy Giovanoni, joined as always by Mike Lacoste. We're fresh off the Kansas City victory. You know, there's 4-0 sweep there. And, of course, we're going to talk about this a little later. Another wild ride up in the Bay last night. That Giants-Cardinals series has taken on a whole new dimension. But, again, let's start. We got to congratulate the American League champions this year.
Yes, we do.
4-0 sweep. You know, that was pretty impressive. And, moreover, their 8th straight win in this year's playoffs.
Well, yeah, now, and the thing that's happening is it seems like they're getting better. So they're in this sweeping action right now, and you know they've got all the parts of that machine are rolling pretty good.
Yeah, they are. And
if anything, I will tell you this: their closer might be a guy that could give it up. For everything you look at, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Before it's all said and done, don't be stunned if their closer gives up something for them to maybe lose something.
Yeah.
We'll forget about it.
Kind of if the chain has a weak link, you may see it in the ninth, is what you're saying. Yes. All right. And it's also going to be interesting to see how they're going to have to then play this National League style of ball. Will they have that perfect scenario where Kelvin Herrera gets to pitch the 7th, Wade Davis gets to pitch the 8th, and Greg Holland the complete 9th, and still with the batting orders not having something being inserted into there? That's going to be interesting in itself.
Because guys like Wade Davis at some point in time are going to go, want to beep, 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 beep. They're going to want to back up to the pay window, and he's going to be closing for somebody.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
He's not going to be doing this forever.
Yeah.
So.
And again, we did talk about in the last podcast how they have been setting these guys up for extended duty. So rather than probably seeing them cutting their pitcher short, you're going to see them maybe extending each of those relievers out 1 to 1 2/3 innings scenario, something like that. Now, again, let's take us through, because you've talked about this since we started this podcast, how, again, leading into this season, you talked about Harold's prediction with the Royals. You know, this is something that's been in the making. And I think I even saw an interview with the actor, comedian Paul Rudd last night where he said the same thing from the fans' perspective. Kansas City's been building towards something. They're now into the World Series for the first time in 29 years. We've talked about the individual achievements, but what does this say about them and where their organization has come from to get to this point?
Yeah, okay. Well, you can only say that so long anyways. You can say we're building and we're building and we're building and building, and pretty soon you actually have to build and then do something. Okay, so now they're doing something, and so you can really reflect back now. And okay, now you go back and you see what they did, and it's legit, and you can see how they did it. It took a while. Actually, quite a while.
Yes,
but they were really down, for a while, meaning that they weren't going to compete. Now they started competing back in it's been 6, 7, 8 years ago. You figure they're at the bare minimum, they're coming in last, so they're drafting first.
Yes,
right? They're getting the high draft picks. The question is, are the scouts, getting the best players? Are we actually getting the best players in the nation? Are we actually making the fits into what we already have in the organization, and then so it economizes everything, and here we go with the nucleus of something we're building with. And they kind of, I think back when we first started, they were in the midst of having this kind of a routine, kind of similar to Pittsburgh, where they would get off to a pretty good start and give it a good month or so, a good go. And in fact, they were like in first place or something. And then pretty soon, around the 1st of May, now 2 or 3 teams have caught them. They're trying to hang on. And then the end of June, now they're in second. And then by the All-Star break, they're completely out of it. And they come back from the All-Star break and they come in last.
Yeah.
And so there was a couple of 2 or 3 years there where they did that. Okay. And then they kind of got in there and they hung in there pretty good and just barely almost got in there. And so now people are really paying attention and starting to focus on some of their players, and they're the real deal. And then they start getting the attention. And
a couple of good free agent moves, like, for instance, bringing James Shields in. From
right.
Tampa
I was
Bay.
just kind of speaking on, in the general terms of kind of what's going on as one part of the organization, one piece to putting this whole thing together. It's not really simple and easy. It's just, going shopping and just, getting something you need and putting it in the old frying pan and whipping it up, Like I said, now you've got to, you can only go so far with the amount of money that they have. based on their ownership and their market, whatever they want to do. But by and large, they're going to kind of stick to the balance of the situation. They're a small market team, so they're not going to spend as much as the other, even no matter what the ownership net worth is or anything like that. So anyway, so they get to a certain point there with their draft money, and remember, you got to bring in good coaches too. You can't allow your draft picks to get turned over to bad coaching. I've seen guys get ruined in the minor leagues. Many guys get messed up and have their careers either by getting into their domes mentally so deep that they can't get out of it, having them do things that are mechanically or fundamentally wrong to the point where they break down. All kinds of stuff can happen down there. So you got to have guys down there that are handling your draft picks and handling your minor league system that are not going to mess things up. And so they put some key pieces in there, and they've worked. Those have to work, right? It's just automatic. You go make trades and they come in and they work. They actually have to work. You have to get kind of lucky and pat yourself on the back when they do. So it's been a combination of that, getting that going for them. And I guess if you look at their age, and the combination of a few things, and maybe where some guys have come from, and some leadership, in the clubhouse, that kind of stuff, what people like to talk about, that chemistry thing, but you still have players that are, really like coming on as players. I mean, this is like they've realized what this time is, right? They're only playing one team, and so they're able to focus and narrow it down, and just and slow the game down for them and narrow it down, and that's what allows some of these players now. You see some of these guys that have never hit home runs, and all of a sudden they're hitting home runs. You get confidence, and maybe you just go the whole year and never see these good pitches like that. I don't know, but because that forces. The pressure of the playoff forces people to do things that they hadn't done, pretty much on a consistent basis if you look at them over the period of the course of the season. That's why you throw all those season stats out the window.
And so once again, the congratulations out there to your 2014 American League champion Kansas City Royals. You're in the middle of something special, and we definitely here at the iBaseball channel, we wish you guys all the luck going forward in the World Series.
Yeah, until you play the Giants, maybe. Whoops.